I think what's on the inside and what's on the outside are, you know, they're both important. Hello Starlets, I'm Sarah from Everyday Starlet. Welcome to my channel. I make videos to inspire you to be the best version of yourself and live your dreams. So if you want to be an Everyday Starlet, be sure you hit that subscribe button. Today, I want to talk to you about natural food coloring, and I'm going to try to find the best natural food coloring out there. Now, if you're new to my channel, this may not seem all that unusual. Maybe this is the reason you came to my channel, and if it is, welcome. But if you're not new to my channel, you might be thinking, that's an odd video for you to be posting, because I usually post more about beauty and fashion and things like that. But I'm also a very big advocate of clean eating, and I believe that a glamorous lifestyle should also be a healthy lifestyle. And I actually have gone through, and I've talked about this before, I've gone through and actually cleaned out my skincare routine of anything with like artificial fragrances, artificial colors, and I really try to go through the foods that I eat, and I try to make sure that they're clean, natural, healthy, like as much as possible. But I also like my food to be fun, and I mean, many years ago, I actually took a cake decorating class, and I like kind of making things that look pretty and special, because why not? Food should be fun as well as taste good and be good for you. But I have tried a few natural food colors, and they've not worked well. In fact, I had a lemon square incident that turned a very unattractive color of vomit that actually went down the trash before I even got very far into the recipe, because it just looked disgusting. And actually the holiday season, Christmas time, I actually attempted to make a red velvet cake. It turned an odd shade of purple, and I tried to use my former cosmetology school color correcting background to try to adjust the color a little bit, and I ended up with basically a vanilla cake that looked like it was chocolate. I mean, it tasted fine, but it didn't really look at all like a red velvet cake. So I was doing some research on the Google, as one does when they want to learn what the best product is in any category, and I really couldn't find any information on people actually testing out natural food colors and you know, trying to see which ones give the best color. So I figured, even though this isn't like the typical video you would see on my channel, I figured if it's something that I'm wondering about and I'm curious about, then there's got to be other people who want to know this stuff too. So I figured if I'm going to test out different food colors and I'm going to try to see which ones work the best, then why not film it and take you guys along with me on my quest to find a great natural food coloring, so that we can all make our food look fabulous and have it be good for us. So I don't know how well it's gonna work, but we're gonna give this a try, and I decided to wear some bright colors. This is my Wolf and Whistle. I think I got this at, actually this was gifted to me by Playful Promises. It's actually a set right here, and I decided to go with a bright lip. I figure I'm testing food colors and I want stuff to be bright and vibrant. That's the goal I'm going for. So why not wear some bright, vibrant colors? So if you guys want to see my best and worst natural food colors, and stay tuned to the end of the video. Hopefully there'll be some bests. But if you want to see me test natural food coloring and see how it goes, then just keep watching. Okay, so the first food coloring I'm going to test is actually the 365 plant-based food coloring. It comes with 4 colors, but I unfortunately only have 3 because I used up the red one when I had my epic red velvet cake fail. So I can tell you that the red is purple. And I actually could not get, because this is like the Whole Foods brand, and I actually could not get back to Whole Foods to pick up another one of these before everything. I mean, Whole Foods is still open, but I'm not gonna like risk my life to go to Whole Foods just to get a whole package to get the red food coloring. So I can tell you though, the red here is very purple. Another popular one is the India Tree. This one just got this package brand new because I ordered it. But I have used the yellow before in this, and I actually threw it away because this was the one I used for my epic lemon square fail that turned a really funky color. I don't know how this is gonna work, but we're gonna see. I also have the Watkins Assorted food coloring. This has 4 colors, your basic colors, and these I do not think I have tried, because I had to actually open this to take the bottles out. So I don't think I've actually tried this one yet. And then this one I just found online. I ordered from Amazon. This is the Chef Master Liquid Gel food coloring in natural. This actually comes with 8 colors. So that would be less mixing, which if this works would be, you know, beneficial if you want to come up with some unique colors. but we'll see how this one works. Okay, so I thought I was recording and it turns out I was not. But I decided to start this out with just testing them in water. So I have these disposable Dixie cups because I figured this is going to get really messy. I don't normally use disposable cups, but for this, when I knew it was going to get messy, I figured let's just go with disposable. I'm going to start with the 365 food coloring, the one that I only have 3 colors of, and I just wanted to kind of see how they reacted with water. So I tried each color. I tried to put 1 drop, but turned out to be more like 2 in this. The yellow, if you can see, well, I don't really have anything to mix this with, but the yellow you can see, it's a pretty bright yellow, but the actual food coloring itself that settled to the bottom does have kind of a kind of an orangey kind of look, which is kind of what I discovered when I tried to do my lemon squares, but I did those with a different brand. But yeah, that's the problem with, I think, some of the natural yellows, is that they tend to have more of like an orangey kind of tone to them. So far this blue actually looks like a really cool bright blue. So yeah, I think this one's working pretty well. The green is looking, it's not looking like a really bright, vibrant green. It's looking kind of like a mossy green. But yeah, so far, like, that's what I'm discovering with some of these natural food colorings, is the colors don't tend to be very bright and vibrant. So yeah, so that was the 365. I am going to test these a little bit later with food. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to make frosting or marzipan or royal icing or something, but I wanted to just test them with water just to get an initial idea. So the next one I'm going to try is going to be the India tree. I'm going to shake them up before I try them out. Tried to just do a drop. That kind of, these are more gel-like, so it kind of came out in a stream. Okay, so as you can see with this one actually is even more orangey, which is kind of what I discovered with with this when I tried to make my lemon squares. Actually, even more, this first one, this is the 365, which is actually all dissolved at this point. And this one I just poured, so, and I think I got a little bit more. But yeah, this one is not a pretty color of yellow. I mean, it's, ugh. This blue is actually more, I think, of like an indigo kind of look to it. Whereas like if you look at it compared to the 365, it's definitely, this one's definitely more of a bright blue. This one's definitely more of like an inky blue. And the India doesn't have a green, obviously. I mean, mixing colors is one thing. I think I might, that could be a whole separate video. I just want to try to find like your basic colors that look good. This red actually does look a little bit more red. I know that the 365 turned super purple. This does have a purplish tinge to it. It's not like a really vibrant red, but it's a little bit more red than I think I was expecting it to be. But still not a really true red. It's definitely got some purple to it. Now next we have the Watkins food coloring, which I just noticed that the Watkins food coloring and the 365 food coloring, like the packages are almost exactly the same. Like this is the Watkins. Oh, well, I guess the coloring in them is different, but the packaging is the same. This is a 365. So when I'm all done, I'm actually going to scan over this because I can already tell that some of the ones that I did originally are starting to oxidate. So I'm going to like leave them all for a little while and then I'll show you the comparison. Yeah, I'm already getting a brighter yellow from the Watkins one. This is definitely a more bright, vibrant yellow for now than either of the other two were originally. This blue is definitely a brighter blue than the India one, which is more inky blue. It's similar, I think, to the 365, but I think the 365 is a little bit brighter. And we have a leak. And yeah, the red, because if you notice, the India one is starting to turn really purple. And I feel like the Watkins one is already really dark and has a slightly purple, like it's not a bright red. The green is still a mossy color. Like this is a 365 green and this one hasn't obviously dissolved completely yet, but yeah, it's a very mossy green. Okay, so the last one I'm doing is the Chef Master Natural, and a note about these is these are the only ones that actually had a protective seal that I had to peel off of them. And I mean, I guess it's better that there was a protective seal, but they were really hard to peel off. And of course, this is the one that has the most colors. Okay, so some of these are actually starting to leak on me, so I want to try to move quickly, but yeah, so far the Chef Master one is actually, this is the yellow. It's very similar to the India one, which I don't like very much because it's a very orangey yellow. This blue so far looks very similar to the Watkins blue. Definitely a brighter blue than the India one, but I actually think the 365 is the brightest of the blues. This is the green, and this is disgusting. This is so, I don't know if it'll oxidize a little bit more. The Watkins green well, it's a lot brighter, but it's still a very mossy green. And then, well, this one's starting to leak, but this is a lighter moss than this one, but oh my god, this green is disgusting. Ugh, no. Okay, so far this is the brightest red. We'll have to wait and see how it oxidizes because obviously this hasn't been sitting here as long as this is the Watkins one, which is it's still red, but it's definitely a purplier red, and the India Tree one is like a very purpley red. This one's starting to look a little orange though. The orange, this is actually the orange color. That's not even blending together. This is the pink, which is a bright pink, but obviously it's like almost like a purplier red, which is fine because this is the red in the Chef Master. So there's obviously a difference between the pink and the red. This is a very purpley pink, more of a fuchsia almost. Okay, this is the purple, which I'll have to try to stir this up maybe with a knife, but it's a very dark black kind of purple. And then this is the black, which I like that they included black because that's a great like accent color when you're doing decorating, but you know, sometimes black food coloring can look kind of gray. But it's really hard to tell in water how this is actually going to look in frosting, so the black is going to be really hard to judge, but I just wanted to include it because I was doing all the colors. Okay, so to sum up the water test, because some of these cups are starting to leak, I wanted to do a comparison of the colors that are similar. So as far as the yellows go, definitely the 365, this is the India, this is the Watkins, and this is the Chef Master. I would definitely say, the 365 is the best yellow, followed by the Watkins. I would not, unless I was trying to go for an orangey yellow, I would not go with the India or the Chef Master. As far as blues go, the 365 I think is probably the best blue. The India is definitely more of an ink colored blue, which I suppose, you know, depending on what you're going for, but that I don't really think of it as a very pretty blue. Watkins is not a bad blue, and I definitely think the Chef Master seems like a pretty decent blue too. So I would say the only blue that I'm like, no at this stage is the India Tree. The greens, not every one had a green. This is the 365, which is a very mossy green, but it's still somewhat bright. The Watkins, again, they're very similar. They look almost exactly the same. And then, oh, this is the green from the Chef Master, which is gross. It's like pond water. It's disgusting. Yeah, so no. As far as the red goes, I would say so far, I mean, you know, I wish I could test the 365 in the red because I know that turned super purple on me, but I don't have that one. But it definitely ruined a red velvet cake for me, so I wouldn't recommend that one. Probably it was similar to the Watkins, which is a very, very like dark purpley red. The India Tree, I mean, it's a little bit brighter, but it's definitely, this is the red for the Chef Master, which I think is actually, at this stage, I'm thinking that seems like it's the prettiest, like the most vibrant red. And then these are the other Chef Master ones that didn't have a comparable color in the other ones. Obviously, I could try to mix them, but okay, this was the orange. This obviously has gone bad because it's just, it isn't mixing. I actually went through all of these and tried to stir them with a knife, and I cleaned off the knife in between each stir, and I tried stirring this, and this is not. So I don't know if this is just a bad one or not, but this is not good. As far as the pink goes, I mean, if you're going for more of a fuchsia, this doesn't look so bad. It's pretty bright. It obviously lends itself a little bit more to being a little bit more purple. For a pink, you know, I think, you know, could be pretty. This is the purple, this is the black. The purple look, I mean, they look pretty much the same. So I don't know if maybe mixed in with food, if the purple would be more vibrant, but it doesn't look like it would be. It looks very not good. And the black, I mean, this obviously looks very black in the cup, but it's really hard to tell how it would look mixed into something because black just, you don't know if it's gonna pull gray or not, so that's hard to tell. But overall, this is the first initial test that I thought I would do. I don't really know how helpful this part is, but it's just sort of helpful for me to kind of know what direction to go in. So I'm gonna try to mix these in with some kind of food. So that'll be the next step. So stay tuned, I'll be right back. Okay, so I had mixed up some frosting, which, you know, I used most of it. I will actually link the recipe in the description box below. It's actually, I used Swerve sweetener, confectioner's sugar, so it's kind of like a sugar alternative. So I'll link the recipe below, but that's what I used. This right here is actually just a piece of the frosting with no color in it, just for some comparison. And then this top row, disregard these on the side right now. This top row was actually the 365 plant-based food coloring. This row right here, India tree, oops, some on my hand. This is the Watkins. And then these, and because I had to go up the side because there were more colors, is the Chef Master. I tried to get about the same scoop of each, although as you can see, I didn't get it completely even, but I tried to just do like a small spoonful and then mix them up. And most of them I tried to use like 2 drops, sometimes 3 snuck in there, so it's not completely scientific. With the Chef Master, I actually had to add a little bit more because the color really wasn't showing up. So I did a solid 3 drops with these, with the exception of the black, which I'll get to in a minute. So hopefully you'll be able to see the slight color distinction on camera. But the 365, which is this top row here, and I didn't have the red. I do have to say, I feel like they have the most vibrant yellow. This blue is nice. It's a soft blue color. If I'd added more food coloring, possibly, but you know, going through and adding a lot more food coloring and testing that with all of these would take forever. But it is a nice subtle blue, although it is a grayish blue, but it is a nice blue. And the green actually turned out pretty nice. In fact, I think that's probably the best green. That one's not too bad, but I think that's probably the best green so far. So overall, I think the blue is okay. I don't have the red here, but I don't recommend the red at all. But I definitely think that the yellow is one of the better yellows. The blues are pretty consistent, and I think I might go on a limb and say this is the best green. For the India tree, I'm not in love. I don't like this yellow, which it doesn't, I feel like I'm looking at the camera and I'm not actually seeing, but it is actually a very orangey yellow in person. This blue, it's really hard to tell because I feel like on camera these blues look very similar, but this blue is much more gray than this blue is right here. So yeah, and then this is supposed to be the red, which I feel like with only a couple drops of the red, it should be a nice soft pink, and it's actually very, I don't know, it's very purpley. And which, you know, I don't hate this color. It's just, if you want a red or if you want a soft pink, that's not the color that you want. So I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the India tree. The Watkins now, this yellow is actually quite pretty. It's very similar to the 365, which I think I like a little bit better because it's a little bit more vibrant. This is the Watkins, and that's actually a really good color too. I would say their blue is pretty, well, yeah. I would say the blue is pretty comparable to the 365. I'd say that they're very similar. In blue, they're very soft, they're very grayish blue, not like a nice vibrant blue, although if I added more color, maybe. The green is nice, the green is comparable to the 365, so I would say that that's not bad either. And you know, the red, obviously, if you just use a few drops of the red, it's gonna be pink. Makes sense, that's logical. It's not a bad pink color, although it's not quite as soft and pretty a pink color as I think I would like it to be. Adding a few drops of red, it still looks a little bit purpley to me, but it's not nearly as purpley as the India tree, so I'm not totally hating on it. I still think the red's got some work to do though. As far as the Chef Master, don't like this yellow at all. I had to add extra drops of the Chef Master because the colors were not vibrant enough. I don't mind that, I'm just mentioning it for comparison. I don't like this yellow. It's just, you know, it's not a vibrant enough yellow for me. I don't see myself using that. The blue, I gotta say, this blue is a little bit more in grayish in tone, kind of like the India tree. They're very similar, although this is much more impressive a blue than it was when it was just sitting in water. Same with this green, although this green is a very mossy green. I think maybe if you wanted a more mossy color, depending on what you were using to decorate, it might not be the end of the world, but I just think the other greens are so much prettier. This is the red that went along with the Chef Master. You can see like all these reds are so different. It's so crazy. It's obviously only a few drops and it's not giving me a soft, subtle pink. It may give me a better red though if I added a lot more color. I don't know. I'm still really torn on this red. The orange shocked me because I really thought the orange had gone rancid and maybe it still has. I don't know. This is the only one. None of the rest of them have really a scent to them. I haven't tasted any of these. I feel like taste testing them would be a whole other video. I'm just kind of basing this on color right now. This has a very strong like chili pepper scent and it's kind of a Cheeto color. I mean, I don't love this color, but like it's a vibrant color. So if you're looking for orange, I mean, that's a vibrant orange. I just don't know how it would taste because the smell does have a hint of a chili pepper smell. So you may want to proceed with caution. This is the Chef Master Pink, which, you know, again, you usually would only use like fewer drops of the red in order to make a pink. But this is obviously a very different than the Chef Master red. I'm not hating on it as a pink. I mean, it's definitely more of a purpley pink. Like this is the, like I almost think I like the few drops of red in the Watkins a little bit better. But this is a more vibrant pink. I think it just depends on what you're going for. But yeah, the reds and pinks, I feel like, I don't know, maybe just because I love red and pink and they're like my favorite colors that I am really picky about them, but I am picky about them. Okay, this is the purple in the Chef Master, the one that basically just looked black in the water. And, you know, I mean, it's only 3 drops, so it's definitely vibrant. But again, it's a really dark purple. If you wanted a really bright, like happy, fun purple, this is not the color. Maybe, I guess you'd have to just do 1 drop, maybe? I don't know. Okay, so for the black, I actually added like 20 drops of the black because I had nothing to compare it to, so I figured it didn't have to be exactly the same. But I know that black food coloring needs a lot more color or else it just turns gray. And it was still super gray when I actually put it on the pan, but in the process of doing this and it kind of oxidizing a little bit, it has gotten a lot darker. You would need a lot though, but that's probably true of any black food coloring. But I do think it's nice to have an option for black, but yeah, I think it would definitely be tricky to work with and you'd need a lot of it, like a lot of coloring for very little frosting in order to, you know, use it. But, you know, having a black is always good because I think when you're decorating, sometimes using black as like an accent color for things can be helpful. Not really mad at it, but I could see it being really tricky to work with. So these are the colors, which I don't know, I'm still really torn about this. I think part of the problem I'm having with this food coloring is that there's no one package of food coloring that seems like it's the best. It's like different brands are better in different colors. Overall, I actually think the 365 was pretty good, although even though I couldn't test it here, I don't trust their red at all. As you can see, I love my red. I'm not a fan of the India tree. I mean, I guess if you're looking for shades that go in that direction, maybe, but I'm not a fan. The Watkins was actually pretty impressive, and I would say overall, I'd say it was consistent. I don't know if every shade was my favorite, but I would say overall, consistently, I think it worked pretty well. And as far as the Chef Master, like I like that there's more colors, so it gives you more color options, but the colors are really hit and miss. And I actually checked the expiration date, and mine, the one that I have isn't set to expire for like almost a full year. So, you know, I don't know. It's just the colors were very hit and miss with that one. So yeah, it's tricky. I don't really know if I can actually say I recommend any one completely. The Watkins maybe would be the closest. The 365 maybe would be my second. I guess the Chef Master in certain shades maybe, and I do like that they have more shades than some of the others. The India tree would probably be my last. So yeah. If you guys want me to do any kind of like follow-up video, I really don't know how many of you are interested in a video like this, but I really wanted to try this out to see like what I could put together, because I was just having such a hard time trying to, you know, come up with fun ideas, and I wanted to do some like fun, you know, food decorating kind of things. And every time something asked for food coloring, I was like, I don't know what to use, because I didn't know which one was actually gonna work, because I had been let down so many times. So I don't know how many of you will find this helpful. If you did find this helpful and you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with anybody that you think might be interested in this kind of thing. This is kind of like a different type of video for me. But if you guys want me to do a follow-up, I don't know if you want to do like a taste test or see if I can get any of these colors to get really vibrant or something. I just felt like I couldn't really do all that in one video, because that would just take way too long, and I'm running out of light and I'm running out of frosting. But yeah, if you have any like specific requests for this kind of thing, or if you want to see more food videos or food decorating videos or anything like that, you know, let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. I love your suggestions. If you want to be an everyday starlet, be sure you hit that subscribe button. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you join me next time.